James Comey going back and forth with the chairman of the House Benghazi Committee during that all-important, everyone watched it and listened to every word hearing on Hillary Clinton's emails and the Benghazi attack. Hillary Clinton heard something very different, it seems, when she just said yesterday, the FBI director said her answers were truthful with regard to the emails. Back to the panel. Peter Biner. This got 4 Pinocchios from the Washington Post fact-checkers. That means it's not true. That means they don't see any basis. Basically what they said, and if you look at the transcripts, it seems to hold up. At best, they're cherry-picking facts. Shouldn't Hillary Clinton have a better answer to this by now?
Absolutely she should. I mean, I think she deserves 4 Pinocchios about this. I mean, we know that there was material that she sent that was retroactively classified, and there was also a smaller amount of material that was actually even classified at the time. And, you know, this has been her handling of this entire affair, going back to the decision originally to try to run everything off of a private server when the security experts at the State Department themselves were telling her top staff that's a really, really bad idea. And basically her top staff told those security experts, you know what, she wants to do it anyway because it's more convenient for her. This has been a massive, massive unforced error. And although I will end up voting for Hillary Clinton, I think it reveals something concerning about Hillary Clinton. She has a tendency to get isolated with very, very close-knit staff and not actually listen to the opinions of people she needs to listen to.
And isn't this the kind of stuff that Republicans like yourself would love to be focusing on if other things that Donald Trump had said don't overshadow it?
Exactly. That's what Republicans should be focusing on. Not only did Hillary Clinton flat out lie there and her whole issue with her emails, there's also with the question of she was basically deemed by the FBI director as not able to handle classified information.
Or understand the classification system.
Or understand the system, which is scary enough. Yes, this is all we should be talking about. Because, in fact, if it's a referendum on Hillary Clinton, Republicans will do well this fall. If it's a referendum on Donald Trump, Democrats will do well.
And that's the interesting thing. MJ, I want to get your take on this. Do you think, look, Democrats said to me that today that this email thing is pales in comparison now to what Donald Trump is doing. What is your reporting telling you? Does the email issue resonate with voters amidst a Donald Trump feud?
Look, when you look at the poll numbers and you see how many Americans are uncomfortable with whether she can be trusted, whether she's honest, it almost always comes down to the email issue because they hear the email issue being talked about on television. They see that in headlines, and something about it doesn't sit well with them. So even if they're not following every single testimony that's being given about the emails, even if they weren't watching Comey's testimony on the Hill, they know that there's something off about the email issue and the way that Clinton is talking about it. But as you know, to your point, unfortunately, Republicans are not able to talk about the email issue and focus on it because they're having to play defense on everything that Donald Trump is talking about. The latest controversy that he is making now with the Khan family. Democrats are talking about it. Hillary Clinton, I think, all weekend during her bus tour was looking for the opportunity and sort of the right way to hit back at Donald Trump.
Let's add another controversy to the mix. Why don't we, Carl? Donald Trump playing cleanup today on an issue involving the Russian invasion, involvement, incursion. You decide the verbiage in Ukraine. Listen to this.
He's not going into Ukraine, okay? Just so you understand. He's not going to go into Ukraine. All right, you can mark it down, you can put it down, you can take it anywhere you want.
He's already there, isn't he?
Okay, well, he's there in a certain way, but I'm not there. You have Obama there. And frankly, that whole part of the world is a mess under Obama.
Then he just cleared it up with a tweet. You said, I actually meant when I'm president, Russia's not going to be there. Does that clear it up for you, Carl?
It clears it up fine for me. I think it was just, you know, Donald Trump has done these things before where he said something. We all know well, maybe not all of us, but many of us know the intention, then he clears it up with a tweet. I mean, I think it was pretty clear.
No, he says something and he doesn't know the answer. That's the problem. He had the same problem when he was talking about the abortion issue several months ago when he said the woman should be punished. He had a 50-50 shot. He said the wrong thing.
Look, Peter, I know this is something that you talk about a lot, too.
This is the most frightening thing for me as far as looking at a presidential candidate. Not to understand the situation with the Ukraine and Russia is frightening if you want to be president.
Even give him the credit that he understands it. But the fact that if you say something that people can't understand when they hear it the first time, isn't that a problem? A president should not have to clarify every interview with a tweet the next day, right?
That's right. I think we saw something similar with his NATO comments, you know, where he said, well, you know, America has a treaty obligation to come to the aid of NATO members, including the Baltic states, which are NATO members. So they asked Donald Trump about this, right? And he says, well, it depends whether they're paying
Only
their
if they
fair
pay.
share, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're president, that can create an international crisis, right? That has, even as a presidential candidate, that has huge ramifications on how the Baltic states are going to start to behave, how Russia's going to start to behave. So, yeah, I mean, I know many people find it appealing that Donald Trump doesn't talk like a politician. He's not so scripted. And there are times when that can be, okay, that can be kind of appealing. But when you're president, this is actually can be quite dangerous.
And this is sort of what's
Final answer,
both
yeah.
fascinating and infuriating about covering Donald Trump as a member of the media. He does have a tendency to say one thing and then the next day say, actually, that's not what I meant, and you all should know that. Well, no, and it is our job to point out when he's saying things that are factually incorrect. But I think the issue is that he has found himself in that kind of situation so many times that
I have an idea. I'm going to take that tactic from now on. I'm going to say crazy stuff, and then I'm going to say, you
fire
cannot
up.
hold
Yeah.
me to it tomorrow. Thanks, you guys. It's great to have